One love to the humble, one love to the humble, one love to the humble. May grace and peace be multiplied unto you. Hey, listen, I hope everything is going well in your life, and I hope you got your health together. And if you don't have your health together, really, really think about your health. Because in the black community, we are really, really suffering from a lot of preventable diseases that's taking us out at a very, very young age. So just really think about that and really concern yourself with your health. But keep living good, keep trying to be as best as you can, and everything gonna work out for you, one way or the other. So we got a request from the good brother Trey Day, and his question is, I'm gonna say this question. I'm making the video before I write the question, so I'm gonna write the question afterwards. So it might not match up from what I'm about to say right now versus what you might see in the title. So don't be alarmed. But the question is basically, will women today ever get back to being like the women of the 1960s and 70s when we had the women like Asada Shakur, women that stood in the Black Power movement and things like that. That's the question. Will we ever be able to get back to those type of women? We had Betty Shabazz, even though she was in the Nation of Islam, her husband Malcolm X, he stood for some great things, and she was real supportive of him. And many other women of that time was doing great things. So that's the question. And I'm going to say right out the rip, absolutely not. There is no way in the world that women of today will ever be like those women of that time. And there's reasons behind it. And just to get right to it, when you go back to the 60s started, the second wave of feminism started in the 1960s. And that second wave carried over all the way to the 1990s. That was second wave feminism from the 60s to the 90s. And during that time, you know, we all know by now that the feminist movement was started by the white women. The white women were doing that first, and black women jumped on board for whatever reason. Still to this day, nobody really knows why they did it, but they did. They jumped right into it right away. So, but it hasn't benefited. It hasn't helped them at all, to be honest with you, because we were never in any position to do anything to black women as far as holding them from down or getting any type of jobs or anything like that. That wasn't us. You know what I'm saying? But they jumped in because the white women needed support, so they coerced the black women to jump in and be a part of it, and that's exactly what they did. And we can't afford that as a black community because we're such a small percentage of the population, and the things that affect us and the things that we need is very different from everybody else. Okay, so back to the point of it is that would never happen again. As the way it was at that time, you'd never see those type of really outspoken women that supported in that way all about the black community. And there's a reason for it. And the reason for it is modern day feminism. What's going on today? The remnant of then has carried over to today. And if you look at what's going on today, it ain't even about equality today as it was back then. Today is more about today is more about it's more about just hatred of men. There's no point to feminism right now. There's no right that a man has that a woman does not have today. Not one. So today they're more or less just angry at men now because there is nothing else to fight for. I mean, in the black community, it's been a matriarchy for the last 60, 70 years. Black men have not ran the black community in about 60 years, 60 or 70 years. So I don't really know what they're talking about a patriarchy, because there's no way a black woman should be saying anything about patriarchy out her mouth, because 76% of black babies are born outside of wedlock with no man in the home. So that we ain't no patriarchy in the black community. It's a matriarchy in the black community. So I don't know what we even talking about when it comes to that. But I will say that those women back then has not fully been indoctrinated yet. They were still down with struggle, down with the black people as a whole. But as time went on, black women started to separate themselves. They started becoming more like white women. They started more dressing like white women. They started doing the things that white women were doing. They started wearing white women's hair. They started, even though it was looked like black hair, but the style of it was like white women's hair. Black women used to wear their own hair back in the day. But then nowadays, that's not the thing anymore. They're now wearing wigs more than they wear their own hair. They cover their own hair up to put a wig on top. So anybody that's willing to cover their own hair up and put a wig on top is no one that is really down for who they really are. Mentally, you can't. There's no way you can be mentally in that place of uh, being like a Asada Shakur, and women of that statue, but you wearing a wig. It's never gonna happen, you know, because it's just a mindset. And now with the feminism, and they don't like black men, there's no way they can be pro-black on that level anymore, because you can't be pro-black on your own. You got to have enforcement, and the men are the ones who can do the force. Women can no longer women does not have the monopoly on force, so you can't have a pro-black movement with all women, because it just wouldn't last. Because who's going to be the force? And I know women have been conditioned to believe that they can do everything a man can do. They can do it better. They're stronger. We all know that's not true. Because just as soon as a domestic violence case happens, I don't see many women winning in domestic violence situations unless the men are allowing them to. And most men are allowing it because men are taught not to hit women. No matter what, you shouldn't hit a woman and all that stuff. I'm getting off topic. But back to the topic at hand, there would never be another movement where black women in particular, are moving in that direction the way those women moved back then. Because back then, those women were moving in a more strategic manner. They had things set up in a way that was better than what you see going on right now today. Because today, everybody it's just like too much. It's too many things that have separated us today, and that's not going. There's no way you can have that type of movement and things be separated. It just don't work that way. It just don't. I can go into so many different scenarios and situations, but it's just impossible for it to happen, because we cannot come together as black and white. Well, that's one thing. We cannot come together black and white, but we definitely can't come together as black man and black woman. The black women and black men are at odds right now. Black women are changing. They got jobs. They go to college. They do all these things. So they're too good. And what black men value, what men overall, but black men in particular value in a woman is not her education. It's not that that don't mean anything. It's just that don't make you more attractive to a man. You know what I'm saying? Standing for the cause, standing for the family, standing for the unity is what is more important than can you go out here and get a job. Woo, you can get a job. Welcome to adulthood. Who can't get it? That's what adults do. We work. It's not a special pat on the back because you got a job, or you got a car, you got a house. That's good. Good for you. But what we look for is replication value. Like, we look for that. Women look for security and all those things. So no matter how much money she makes, she's still gonna look for a man that makes more money. So that's not important to us, because we already know that our money is your money and your money is your money, right? We know this already. So we're not interested in that. But overall, no, it's never gonna come back around, man. Look at these women out here, man. Look what they value. They don't value relationships. They don't value family. They don't value any of that stuff, man. All that they value is material things that they cannot take with them if something happens. What they used to value back in the day was progression for the community. You got women now saying they don't care if the whole world go extinct. They rather. I heard this woman say, she don't care if she had to sacrifice her OnlyFans or the world go extinct. She said she'd rather let the world go extinct than give up her OnlyFans. So how you think a person like that care anything about building and fighting for the rights and the well-being of the black community? It wasn't just her. It's a lot of women that think like that. They don't even want black women nowadays. Most of them don't even want black men to even speak to them. Don't even want to look at them. That's how bad it is out here. A woman like that is never about being pro-black, never about being the upliftment of black people. Because you can't uplift black people unless you're about the black family first. If you ain't about the black family, there's no way you can be about uplifting. And the amount of babies that has been unalived in the womb by black women is astronomical. From 1970 something to today, it's crazy numbers. They talk about millions of babies that was never even born. But they don't consider them babies, man. Think about it. They don't even consider them babies. But you think they care about being like a Asad Shakur? You think they care about them type of women? Absolutely. They can't be like that. They don't even wear their own hair. How they gonna respect and be like a pro-black like Asada and be down for the cause like Asada was? Like Afeni Shakur, Tupac mom was. Betty Shabazz stand behind Malcolm X through all that he went through. Man, these women today, they'll be to jump ship on you before they stand around and watch that go down. You're not gonna mess. They're not gonna be a part of that. They like pretty princesses today. They ain't down. They have been given so many privileges that they can't even see the privilege, and then it's so many privileges that they think they just that much better, not realizing that without men, none of this is possible. If men were to say, I'm no longer protecting women at all. I'm talking about for police force, government. Women don't have rights without men giving them to them. Because women can't take rights by force. So men have to give them rights. That's how nice men are. But they can't see that. Men are so nice that we give women rights. We even protect women from other bad men. That's how nice and chivalrous men are. But women still, even in that capacity, they still talk trash about men and still don't want nothing to do with a man and talk down on them, even in that capacity. You can't make a woman happy, and you're definitely not going to make a black woman go back to being pro-black at this point. It's only going to continue to get worse from here unless we can reach the next generation and guide them in a different direction. The only thing black women want to do today is twerk, do OnlyFans, and talk trash about black men. That's all they want to do. They have no faults. They are not ever wrong. And you can't tell them anything because they're faultless. When you deal with a group of women like that, you're never going to get pro-black. They'll never go back to that. They scared they wear their own hair. They put on makeup and paint a whole new face on. Black women going to get BBLs, looking retarded. I mean, I shouldn't have said that word. Looking ridiculous. Look at it. Just go look at what they saying. It's not gonna happen, man. It's over with. Maybe we can get to the younger generation and convince them to go a different route. But these ones right now, if we keep going this pace and they keep procreating without being in marriage and they keep on indoctrinating their kids with that same mindset, it's going to continue to be problems. I had a black woman say, ask the black woman, if your daughter was to do OnlyFans, what would you tell her? She said, oh, I'll support her if that's what she really want to do. Really? Think about this, man. No man would ever want his daughter to be doing OnlyFans. And this is a little side message. Men, if you got First of all, stop sleeping with all these women. Stop it. And then stop impregnating these women. Put on protection, man. You put your seed in these women that don't care about nothing. They have no morals, no values whatsoever. And you're gonna put your seed inside of her. You crazy. You crazy. I don't care what you think about her. Don't do it, man. These women are out of control out here today. And they're not gonna change. They're not. You might get lucky and find one or two, but the majority of them are cooked. They cooked. Black women are cooked as a whole because there's not enough of them going against the ones that's wrong. They standing too close, and you can't tell the difference. So, in a nutshell, there's nowhere in the world that we're gonna go back to the 60s and 70s where black women were proud to be black and wearing their own hair and not ashamed, and they were standing for the cause. Those days are over with. That's what I think. What do you think? Leave some in the comments. Please like, subscribe, share the video. Y'all take care.